Hey you guys, I'm Danny Teach. This is Beauty Manifest, and I have to talk about what happened tonight. Oh my gosh! So I'm a black woman who has said multiple times that I prefer to date black men. I feel like at this point in my life, I am open to other cultures, other races, other things, but I would prefer to be with a black man. Okay, so that's me, and I've said that. Girl. So it was so crazy because I was on a date today with a Nigerian man, Nigerian American, but he's been here for like 20 years. So I feel like he's a little Americanized, but he's a Nigerian man born and raised. And he was like, he's a Sagittarius and he's like very manly, like super masculine. Kind of reminds me of my dad. Like he's a Superman and he's older. So like he's like, like a traditional man. And he was talking about, he told me, he was like, he was telling me some story about like a girl who had sent her boyfriend over to like pick a fight with them or something. And he was like, if you ever do that while we're out, like I'm gonna leave you because that's how women get men killed. And I thought he was being like so dramatic. I was like, okay, whatever. Like, like sometimes men tell stories so they can like beat their chest, like they're just trying to be like super masculine or whatever. And I was just like, okay, that's how I was taking it. Like, whatever. He's just trying to like show off or something by telling the story about how some woman sent some man to fight him and he didn't back down and he's such a man. And I was like, oh my God, you're such a man. But in the back of my head, I was thinking, like, he's so dramatic. Listen, tell me why. We're at this concert. We're having such a blast. It's a great time. We're having so much fun. And there's a couple sitting in front of us. Like, it's like, bleacher seating, like stadium seating. And there's like a couple sitting right below us in the seats, one level below. And we were just like chatting, like having so much fun, like literally having the best time, singing, like dancing, everything. And then the girl below us, she turned around and she was like, could you guys like move one seat over because you guys are talking like right in my ear? And I was like, oh yeah, like no problem. And he was like, no, you can move over. And I was like, okay, I guess we're not moving over because he said no and he's a man. So I was like, okay, I guess we're not moving. So then he told her no, like we can't move over. She can move over if it's a problem. And once he said that, I did like look over and it was literally like a whole row of empty seats next to her. So I was like, yeah, like I didn't have a problem with moving, but at the same time, like once he said that, I did look at the seats and I was like, if it's such a problem, she could move. And I looked back and there was a couple behind us and like we didn't have any issue with them talking. So it was like weird, but I'm a pretty easygoing person, so I didn't mind moving. But when he stood his ground and he was like, no, we're not gonna move. And I thought that was crazy. So I was just like, okay, like we're not gonna move because my man said we're not moving. So then I was like whatever, we just like kept talking, kept vibing, whatever. The situation was handled. And he was like, why would we move? Like something like that. Like he talked about the situation to me. He was like, why would we move? Like if somebody wants to move, she can move. Like I'm not moving. And she turned around and she's like, what? You're not gonna move? You're not gonna move? And she was like trying to start like a beef. Like she's like, and what? And what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? What are you like? And this is like a big man, like a big Nigerian man, a big older Nigerian man, like not somebody who you would want problems with. And she was with a man and her man like looked at us and then he looked at her and he was like, chill out. That's what he told her. And I was like, I don't like this situation. Like I'm super conflict avoidant, honestly. I was like, I don't know what to do in this situation, but I was with like this big man. So I was like, whatever, it's not my problem. It's his problem. Like I would be willing to move. It doesn't even matter to me. But he wasn't moving. And then the girl was not moving. And then her guy and then me were both like, what the hell? Like, we don't even want to be a part of this. And so tell me why, like 5-10 minutes later, her and her man get up to go. And then she looks at the guy who I'm with and she's like, oh, you're scared now? Oh, you're scared now? And he was like, scared of what? Like scared of who? Like scared. And it was like a little altercation and then they left. And I was just like, I can't believe she just started this little like back and forth thing. Like, of course, like nothing happened in this situation and that was good. But like it was so crazy that just earlier at dinner, like he was telling me a situation about how girls start drama that can get men killed. And I thought he was being like dramatic. I was like, women don't even do that. Like, you're OD. And then literally while we were at the concert, like an hour or two later, some woman started some drama and she was talking all this smack to the guy who I was with, knowing good and well it would be her man who was going to have to fight the fight. Like, it wasn't her. Clearly she wasn't going to fight the fight. So I'm like, what's going on? Like, who does that? And all we were doing, we're talking at the concert, and she wanted us to move because we were talking in her ear. And I'm like, you're at a freaking public concert. Like, it was just so confusing. And then the man next to her clearly didn't want any problems. And I'm like, okay, so the guy who I'm with clearly is trying to stand his ground and he's about it. And if the guy she was with was also about it, like, what if these guys end up like fighting? Like, what if it end up escalating all over her not wanting someone to talk in her ear? Like, it was just mind blowing to me. It was really crazy. And I feel like I needed to talk about this as a Black woman who likes to date Black men. Like, listen, if you're a Black woman and you see this video, don't do that. It's so ghetto, first of all. Fighting in general is ghetto. Trying to make your man like protect you in this like false protective environment. Like, he doesn't need to protect you from people talking in your ear. You know what I mean? Like, that's a waste of masculinity. And so you're like testing your man's man card in this like totally stupid situation. And me personally, I don't know her from a can of paint. But I just feel like anyone who's trying to show this like false toughness, one, is not resting in her femininity, whatever that means, is like super ghetto and just like insecure in herself, because that was so bizarre. And then two, I bet she pays the bills in the relationships. Like, I just know it, because there would, if your man is really the man and you know he's the man and you know that he's willing to die about whatever he says and whatever he stands for, you don't have to test him like that. Like that, you don't have to test him like that. Like, even the guy I was with, we're not even serious. We've just been on like that might have been like our third date. But I know that he's a man. And I know that he means what he says. And so I don't have to test him in a situation like that. And like he told me at dinner, if I put him in a situation like that, he would leave me, because that would be such a red flag. Like, he's a man and he stands on what he says and he's willing to die about it. So don't put him in a situation where he may die. Like, that was literally like, I don't know if she realized it. I don't know if she didn't care. I don't know what the situation was, but literally like two men having an altercation is a life or death situation, because like just the way that men are wired, like they're pretty peaceful. Like, if it escalates, it's life or death. And that's why, like, if you don't want men to mess with you, you be like, oh, I have a boyfriend, oh, I have a husband. Because men don't want to try other men, because they know that other men are willing to die about it. Like, it's not just like girls, like, oh, you're a bitch, oh, this, oh, that, like, ha, 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 you know, like all this like back and forth, like talking. Like, no, like, if men take it to that level, like, they're willing to die about it. And the crazy thing is, like, sometimes they'll take it to that level. I don't know about as adults, but when we were younger, like, men will take it to that level, and then if they don't die, they can be friends after. Because at that point, the other man has earned their respect, because they both know, like, these are real men who are willing to take it to the extreme if it comes to that. They're not punks, they're not softs, like, blah, 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 blah. I just thought that was insane. That was insane. I cannot believe that happened. I cannot believe that happened. Like, the way, like, she was really like barking at the guy I was with, and I was just like, and then the guy next to her was like, girl, chill. And I was like, this is so embarrassing for everybody involved, including me. I was like, I do not want to be a part of this. Like, it was so weird. And it was so crazy, because remember I told you, he told me the story at dinner about the girl he was with. So his friend had a girl, and then the girl was trying to set him up with her friend. So it was like a double date situation. And so the two girls had gone into the bathroom, and then they got into like a beef with another girl in the bathroom because someone like hit someone with a door, something stupid, right? And then the girl who they hit with the door went back and told her man, and then her man came over to the guys, and then he wanted to start a fight. And it was this crazy situation. And so he told me that over dinner, and then we went to the concert, and then I went to the bathroom at the concert, and I literally made like 5 new best friends while I was in the bathroom. Like literally just in like the 5 minutes that it took me to go to the bathroom, I made all these friends. Because I'm a girl's girl, and I love girls. Like, listen. You look beautiful and I'm obsessed with you. Period. You're a goddess. Right? So this is the interaction I had in the bathroom, and I get back and I told them, I was like, I just made like 5 new best friends in the bathroom. And then literally shortly after, that's when the girls started like the stupid drama of us talking in her ear. And I was like, and she was a pretty girl in like a beautiful red dress with a handsome man. I feel that she's paying all the bills in the relationship, and that's why she's depressed. I know you guys probably think I'm jumping to conclusions, but I'm pretty sure that that was the issue. She's paying all the bills. He's totally emasculated because he's broke. She's paying for everything. It has her very, very frustrated. She's not getting sexually pleased because he's her child, because she pays for everything. He's not satisfied. He's totally cheating on her because he doesn't get to provide for her. It's like a horrible relationship. I hope she gets out of it. But like, it's a horrible thing. And so like, she just wanted to feel like her man is a man for once in her life. Like, he doesn't pay for nothing. Like, he's such a freaking bum. She's looking at him like as a child, as like a bitch. Like, she has no respect for him. So she was like, you know what? Like, my man's gonna protect me. My man's gonna stand up for me. And so she checked the guy I was with. And I was just like, this is not what you want to do. And this is not me being like, yeah, I'm with a real man. Like, no, it's not that. I mean, he is a real man. However, it's not that. It's just like, as a woman, why would you be starting drama with a man? And also, why would you be being difficult where you're telling strangers that you don't know at a public concert and a loud event that they're talking too loud in your ear? And it's so crazy because I told him my date, I was like, it's so crazy because when you told me at dinner that, I thought you were crazy. And then it happened. I was like, that's so weird. And I'm like, but this has never happened to me before, so I think that you're the problem. That's what I told him. He's like, no. The reason that this has never happened to you before is because when she told you to move, you were ready to move. But I don't just move for people because they tell me to move. I'm like Rosa Parks, and that's why this situation occurred, because I wasn't willing to just like punk out whenever she told me to move. And I was like, oh, okay. And I didn't really look at it as punk out. Like, I literally didn't think anything of it. Like, I was just like, oh, okay, like, sorry for talking in your ear. Like, yeah, it was weird, but it was nothing to me. I didn't even think about it. But he was like, why would we move? Like, I paid $150 per person for these tickets. Like, I'm not moving. Like, I can talk. Like, to him, it didn't make any sense. So he was like, no, I'm not going to move. And then that's why the situation escalated. And he was like, that's why you haven't experienced before, because you would just move, but I'm not moving. And I was like, literally my jaw was on the floor. I'm like, this is so crazy, because he had just told me about this. So to him, this is like a regular occurrence with women. And I'm like, Black women, we need to do better. That was unacceptable. That was unacceptable. I couldn't believe it. A beautiful, well-dressed, put-together woman. Like, from the outside, like, you'd be like, this is like a very sweet girl. Her braids were fresh. Her braids were clean. She had her nails done. Her makeup was well done. I loved her outfit. Like, the whole thing. And then she was literally talking smack to a grown man and willing to fight. But she wasn't going to have to fight. Her man was going to have to fight. That is so out of line. I know I'm rambling, but like, that was honestly probably one of the craziest experiences of my life. Wow. Like, wow.